Hi, I thought I would give you a little example of dialogic reading using the book Jump, Frog, Jump by Robert Kalin. So let's say I'm doing this with 3-year-old Tamika, and that I have her choose a page. Let's say she chooses this page. So I might say to her, "Oh, Tamika, what's this?" She might say, "A fish." "Yes, Tamika, a fish, a big orange fish." Okay. So if she might have said, for example, "Oh, it's a big orange fish," then I would add a little bit more information and I would say, "Yes, Tamika, it's a big orange fish and it's swimming in the water. Look at these little foamy splashes it's making." Okay. So if she just said a fish, I would add a big orange fish. If she already said a big orange fish, there's always a way to add a little bit more information to whatever the child says. And we make sure to acknowledge what she says. So for example, I said, "Yes, a fish," and then I added a big orange fish. If she said a fish and I say a big orange fish, then she might feel corrected. So we want to make sure to acknowledge whatever the child says and then add a little bit more information. Yes, a fish, a big orange fish. Now we're asking a what question, but not all what questions are considered open-ended questions. So for example, in dialogic reading, "What color is the fish?" is considered a closed question. Kind of there's no way to go with that. Or "How many fish are there?" And then you count the fish in the pictures, but there's really no way to continue the questioning. So with a what question like "What's this?" then we can also have what's this? A fish, a big orange fish. What is the fish doing? How do you think the fish is feeling? And so forth. We can use it as a jumping off point. And that what question is really just like an introduction to help them get used to having a response. Okay. Now, I started with a kind of directing. I said, "What's this?" But also I could have said, "What do you see on this page?" and let the child, Tamika, decide what she wants to talk about. Now, when we acknowledge what a child is saying, "Yes, a fish, a big orange fish," that doesn't mean we can say something is right when it's wrong. So for example, if Tamika had said "a horse," I can't say "Yes, a horse, a big orange horse," but I could still acknowledge what she says. So I might say, "Oh, you think it's a horse? What makes you think it's a horse?" "It's got a big eye." "Yes, Tamika, it does have a big eye like a horse, but this is a fish and it swims in the water. Let me hear you say fish, fish." Right? Okay, so then we might move on to another page, and you don't have to go through the pages in order. You're just having conversations around the pictures in the book. So let's say Tamika chose this page. So that I might say, "Oh, Tamika, what do you see? What do you think is happening in this page, on this page?" Tamika might say, "Oh, the turtle is stuck." "Yes, it looks like the turtle is stuck in the net." Okay. "It's kind of trapped. He can't get out. Looks like maybe somebody tried to capture him under the net." So I've added some more information and I've added some new vocabulary words. Okay. Then I might say, "How do you think the turtle could get out from the net?" "I don't know." So many children answer, "I don't know," because they think there's only one right answer to every question and they don't want to get it wrong. So they say, "I don't know." So when that happens, I sometimes say, "Well, if you did know, what would you say?" And sometimes I get an answer. Another thing that you can do is give them some choices. "Well, he could swim out from under the net. He might bite through the net, or he might do something else. What do you think?" And Tamika might say, "Oh, I think his mama's going to come get him out." Because now she knows that there's more than one possibility, she feels freer to come up with her own response. Okay. Now let's say a child still says, still can't think of their own answer. Okay. So now they could at least repeat what you say. They might say, oh, I think he's going to bite through the net. Okay. Whereas if you just had said as your question, well, do you think he's going to bite through the net? Then they can only say yes or no. Whereas when you gave some options like, well, he might swim out from under the net, he might bite through the net, or he might do something else, then they still have to respond. Even if they're repeating your words, they're still responding to what you said. And what do you think might happen after he bites through the net? Oh, I think he might bite through the net and fly to the moon. Wow, you say, that's amazing. What do you think he might do when he's on the moon? Okay, so your answer is not turtles don't fly. You are doing it correctly when you're following the child's lead. Okay, there's no moon in the picture. There's nothing to do with the story. Do we care? No. You're doing it right when you're following the child's lead. Okay. Now, another line of questioning might be how the turtle is feeling. So Tamika might say, oh, he looks scared. Yes, he does look scared. When have you felt scared? I feel scared when it's dark in my room. And so the parent might say, oh, yes, I know you're afraid of the dark, and we put a little nightlight in your room. Okay? Now, in a book picture walk, you would be trying to bring the story back to the questions back to the story. So, for example, in a book picture walk, if the child says, oh, I think he's going to bite through the net and fly to the moon, you could say, oh, wow, that's interesting. But let's look over here at these, at what's happening over here in the picture. What do you see? So a boat with some children. And so what do you think they might do with the turtle? Okay, so you're bringing it back to what might actually happen in the story. That would be in a book picture walk. But in dialogic reading, we don't do that. We simply follow the child's lead and build language. Okay, so I hope that helps you. And wordless books are indeed a good way to start out with dialogic reading, but we actually have very few books that are wordless when you look at the whole picture book collection. So it's good to maybe start out with a wordless book, but you'd also want to demonstrate it with a book that has words so that parents realize that they're really concentrating on the pictures and they are following the child's lead. So I hope that helps you with your own dialogic reading experience this week, and I wish you well.